Okay, we're talking to Hollywood Matt. How are you today, my friend?
Hey Mike, I'm good, man. I'm excited to do this. I put a lot of thought into what my favorite movies of the year
Yes.
are because, like you, I watch so many of them.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a little reward at the end to say these
Yeah.
are the best ones. I also have some worst ones because you got to watch them all.
Well, you watched them all. You saw. I remember last year was Clifford the dog was.
Oh, don't even PTSD with some of these movies. Yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog. I can't sit through it again. Yeah, previous years, what was Cat? You ever watch Cats?
Which one? Sorry,
Cats?
Cats. Right. I remember.
I can't with cats. Apparently,
Ah.
there's a secret
Hmm.
cut of the movie where you see the cat's buttholes. It's the
Okay.
I promise you that I'm not making this up. It's the butthole cut, and I definitely do not want to see that.
Okay. So, in case people didn't see our interview last year, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you get up to.
Yes. So, like yourself, I do watch movies. I do review films. I'm the resident film critic on 580 CFRA in Ottawa, and also on CTV Morning Live, which actually just started this year. So I pop up every Friday to talk about the new movies hitting screens, and I also do work with the folks at Watch Mojo. So we do
Yeah.
top 10 countdowns about anything and everything you can think of. So clearly, I'm entrenched in popular culture.
Yes, you are. I was telling someone about our meeting today, like 2 days ago, and she's in showbiz, and she said, "Oh, who's that? Who's Matt? Who's Hollywood Matt?" And I thought for a second, I said, "He's my more handsome alter ego."
Oh, I
He's like,
appreciate that. And I haven't. I
he
was going
does.
to.
He does like I'm on YouTube and I'm doing the festivals, but you're watching way more like mainstream movies than me. You're way more caught up to that than I am, and you are on much shinier platforms than I
I
am.
was going to apologize because I didn't have a chance to shave today. It is the holidays, folks, and
Yeah.
I've decided to let myself go.
No, you're beautiful. All right, so
Appreciate it.
what's Hollywood Matt's number 5 movie of the year of 2022?
I love that you said I watch a lot of the more mainstream stuff because I feel like my list is like really mainstream this year, and I'm interested to see if you're tapping into more of the indie films. Number five on my list is from my favorite movie genre, which is horror,
Nice.
and there are so many amazing horror movies this year.
Yeah.
But the one that really stuck with me was Barbarian,
Oh, nice.
and
Yeah, fun.
it, yeah, this one took me by surprise. I guess I didn't see too many of the advertisements or
Mm,
trailers, so I kind of went in a little blind. And at the beginning, you feel like it's kind of run of the mill, what you would expect to
mm,
happen, uh, but well done. And then
yeah.
no, it takes a complete
No.
left turn,
Right.
and I loved every minute of it. It was creepy. The performances were fun. I love the tone, and it found out it was the director's first movie, so I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard too. I think I like streamed it on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
And it was very unconventional and interesting. It was a rewarding experience for sure. I liked it.
yeah. So for horror movies, that was kind of my fave.
Okay, cool. So my number 5 is called "Give Me Pity!" exclamation mark, and it's something I saw at Fantasia Fest over the
Mm.
summer, and it was a really cool experience because I sort of positioned myself nicely. I was sitting next to a guy with a boutique Blu-ray company who was chit-chatting with before. The lead actress is actually a one-woman show movie. Basically, she was right in front of me with her partner, and then or her dad actually, and then the director was right behind me with her partner, and so I had like, the best seat in the house basically. I'm getting all the insights and all the laughs, like all the it was really cool. And basically it's like a one woman show done in the style of like a 70s kind of like community TV show. And I got to interview the director, Amanda Kramer. I want to bring up the actress's name though first. Her name is Sophie von Hasselberg, and she's in some stuff. I don't know. I don't remember. But I got to interview Amanda, and I said, "I love your movies so much because I don't smoke weed or do anything like that these days. Those days are behind me. But your movie was like a psychedelic
Mm.
adventure, and I hadn't done one of those in a long time. It really replicated like a psychedelic experience to me without actually having to take any substance. So that's a relief at my age.
That's amazing. There is a
Yeah,
bit of a mind trip um, on my list that we'll get to, but yeah,
nice.
I love movies that play with you and take you on those journeys.
I feel like a lot of movies go for that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to actually replicate that sort of experience.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
All right.
and it was really good. Give Me Pity. It's all about like just like the sole thing is just to become famous. Like, and there's so many people like that that I'm sure you've encountered along the way too. It's like all I want from life is success in show business, and that is my identity.
So I
And
haven't
while
seen this,
that is all good, I think we all need to be a little bit more nuanced than that. Yeah.
of course. So I haven't seen this movie, and this is
No.
kind of I've already joining you has already paid off because now I get to add stuff to my watch
It's
list.
like an indie for sure.
Yeah, no,
Fantasia Fest. Yeah.
I love this stuff. I love hearing
Yeah.
about all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, another one of mine is one that people obviously heard about. It's called The Fablemans.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you gotten around to this? This is the Spielberg one.
Well,
And
I actually the first time I saw it, Steven Spielberg came out of the stage afterwards with
oh, did you see
Paul
that
Dano and Seth Rogen.
at was this at TIFF?
Yeah, it was a TIFF. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing, amazing.
So that I mean,
Yeah,
come on, that's great.
it is great. And I thought, I thought it would be good. Obviously, Spielberg, it's not a question of will it be good, it's like how good will it be?
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought like, okay, is this kind of like a autobiography type film, biopic, if you will, on his life. And I'm like, okay, hope it's not, too too lull. But no, he surprised me with how engaging it is, and I was drawn in, and especially with Michelle Williams.
Oh yeah, she's the
I
best
was, I just got lost. I got lost in
though.
Michelle Williams' eyes. That performance. I hope she
Oh,
gets nominated for an Oscar. No, it was great. I loved
I
it.
agree.
I knew I would like it, but I ended up loving it. And when it ended, I was like, no, I wanted to keep going. And that's a good mark of a good film if it keeps you wanting more. But yeah, and it was also like 3 hours, so
Yeah,
didn't feel it.
no, not at all. It's a very entertaining film, and I really hope it kind of reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
Rick Dalton is probably like a composite of like a million actors, but he's like a fake character. But like Sharon Tate is his neighbor, and
yeah,
she was a real person, and so you have Sam Fableman, so like composite Steven Spielberg, but John Ford is a real person.
yeah.
So what I'm really hoping for is we get a Fablemans 2, or just call it Sam Fableman or whatever, and it's like the 70s,
Yes,
and it's like the 70s and 80s, and like all of his movies have different titles, and then all of his director buddies have persona names like Sam Fableman, but like Stanley Kubrick is Stanley Kubrick because
yeah,
he
yeah,
came
yeah.
before them.
Yeah, I love that. Would be amazing. That'd
That'd
be
be cool.
amazing. All right, what's your number four? What?
My
Give
number
me a.
four, I'm sure you've heard of this one, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool, right? I mean, what I
very
like
cool.
about it is it's like such a like if you describe the movie to someone, it's just like two friends breaking up. It's kind of like who cares? But in a small community, these things have ripple effects, and I love
And
all the
it
little
it
yeah,
escalates big time.
it gets cosmic. And sort of I watched this the second time I saw it. I saw the first time at TIFF
Yeah,
with someone who's actually like an Irish immigrant, so that was very helpful. He was able to guide me through some things, and then also, I'm Irish heritage. My dad, I saw with him the second time, that he was telling me sort of things that were going on in the mainland with the Catholics, the Protestants at the
yeah.
time, and how it was like actually a very senseless civil war. Um, and so it's kind of like how gratuitous Brendan Gleeson is in the movie. The lengths he goes to are really pretty alarming for something for what on the paper seems like mundane. It gets cosmic, and I tell people, cinephiles, this is like the There Will Be Blood if it was a comedy, because it is
Definitely.
kind of funny the more you watch it.
It is.
Yeah,
It's such a dark comedy too, and
yeah,
Colin Farrell's great. I think Colin Farrell's eyebrows should get a
yeah.
supporting nomination because they're so great.
And the pony or the donkey or whatever. I love
Oh
that
my
donkey.
god! Yes, me too.
Oh
No,
God, so
no,
cute.
yeah,
He
no
lets them all in
spoilers.
the house, the cows and everything. That was cute.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
stuff. Okay, I'm going with okay, this one again, a very mainstream film.
yeah, yeah.
It's Elvis. It's Elvis because
Yeah.
and here's why. Because I'm a big Elvis
I didn't
fan.
see it, so I don't know anything.
You haven't seen this? Okay.
I didn't see.
So
I know. I know.
well, I'm a big Elvis fan. I know people that are big Elvis fans, and
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
seen all like the made-for-TV movies. There's one with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, which actually wasn't terrible.
okay.
But I was waiting for the big screen Elvis experience, and I was
Mhm.
not disappointed at all. I
Nice.
think so. Boz Luhrmann, that's his name?
Yeah, right, right,
Boz,
right.
who did Moulin Rouge and stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
he sprinkles his little fairy dust on it. But at the end of the day, it is a holy Elvis experience. I bought into everything that Austin Butler was selling me in his role. The only thing that was kind of a downside was the Tom Hanks. He played the Colonel,
Oh.
and I mean Hanks is great. It's just I think, and it's almost kind of the Colonel's movie as well. Like you learn his kind of origin stories, but he kind of came across as almost like a Bond villain. So I didn't get the depth that I wanted out of him. But the Elvis stuff,
That's
which I
what
guess
matters.
is
Right.
much most important, blew me away. And so and like obviously the production design, I think he had like 130 plus costume changes in the movie. So Butler was Elvis to me. Like and you see him now in interviews, and he kind of still sounds like Elvis, which makes me laugh.
That's
But he deserves all the praise he's getting. So there you go. Go watch Elvis.
I should. It's
You'll
just
love it.
something that I haven't gotten around to. It's on the list. It'll happen
Yeah.
one of these days. So my number 3 is a movie. My number 3 and my number 2 were last minute picks. I sort of rearranged the list. So my number 3 is called The Dark Glasses by a classic guy named Dario Argento. He was big in like the 70s and 80s in Italy, and he really reinvented the murder mystery genre in Europe. A lot of like, strange psychedelic music, black gloves. Sometimes the killer's a woman,
Yeah.
crazy stuff. And his daughter Asia Argento is well known for some Hollywood movies like Triple X, and also being Anthony Bourdain's final girlfriend.
Oh yes.
Also
Okay.
being involved in the Me Too movement. So she's in this movie, but what's cool about it is it's like a movie from 2022 that feels like a 70s thriller. It's about a woman on a pursuit. She's a prostitute, the main character, and she's on pursuit of this prostitute killing evil guy, and then on pursuit against him in one scene, she is blinded, and now she has to avoid the killer, find out who the killer is, save herself and this kid who's involved in the story while being blind. So I think that's just an incredibly cinematic, hook. Just like when you describe speed to someone, it's just like Keanu Reeves is on a bus and it's gonna blow up if it
Can't go over 50.
Yeah. So The Dark Glasses, it's not the best movie, but like in terms of like that feeling, that visceral, like pure cinema or whatever you want to say, that really worked for me.
Amazing. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I'm gonna check it out.
Check it out. And I think it's
All
on
right.
Shudder.
Oh yeah. The
Yeah.
horror
The streaming service.
streaming.
Yeah.
I think I'm subscribed to so many of these things. I'm sure Shudder's on there.
Do the trial for everybody out there. If you haven't done the Shudder trial, do it and watch The Dark Glasses. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you like crazy things.
And I mentioned the Mind Trip earlier, so that brings me to my number. What are we at? We're at number 2.
Yeah, correct.
Number 2. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Oh yeah,
of course. The multiverse movie to beat all multiverse movies. That was a ride. That I didn't. And again, I went in to the preview showing not really knowing much about the plot. I knew the stars, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michelle Yeoh, and I was just like, what is going on? In the best way possible. I was saying that to myself. So I enjoyed that. A big bucket of popcorn. That was a really fun viewing experience.
Sweet. I still haven't seen it. I'm ridiculous.
Oh, you won't regret it.
I know.
There are things in this movie that I've seen that I haven't seen in anything else. And that's saying something in the world of movies, right? Like when they can do something new, so new.
That in the sort of climate that we're in for distribution, it is really special that a movie that's like an original concept did what it did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I think it's A24, and that was like it ended up being the highest grossing film for A24.
Damn. Beat Hereditary. And some other stuff.
It did beat Hereditary, and it's considered an indie film, and it just took off. Word of mouth was fantastic for this.
Oh, cool. Okay, so my number 2 is the newest movie from David Cronenberg, Crimes of the Future. So there's a lot of stuff going on in that movie, and I couldn't tell you what it all means. all I know is it kind of reminded me of like the good old body horror 80s days. The Fly, Videodrome, Scanners, stuff like that. The Brood. It kind of like he was working with Vigo. Like at first it was like Eastern Promises and stuff that I love,
Yeah.
But like the stuff he was doing with Vigo and then Pattinson, if it's just if it's not that it was bad, it's just that if it was different. He
Yeah.
was going for he didn't want to repeat himself, and that's all good. That's all good. But me and some of the the freaks out there, we wanted the good old 80s
Me too.
days feeling back. And what I was talking to an actress, and she's like, the movie is so conceptual and weird, and it works because it's got a lot of beautiful actors in it. You got Kristen Stewart, you
Yeah.
got Leah Seydoux, you got Viggo Mortensen. There was another guy. Did you see the film?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's Scott Speedman, isn't it?
Scott Speedman.
Is he not in this?
I don't know.
I
Maybe.
think so. Well, yeah, I think
But
that's who it
Vigo,
was. Viggo Mortensen. Yeah, of course.
yeah. So remember the guy? There was like an African guy he was talking to, who was like undercover with.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well, kid, I don't remember his name, but I interviewed him in Berlin, and when I made that connection, I was excited.
Yeah. Yeah, his name is escaping me too. I really did. I saw this movie and I really did. I dug it and I
Yeah,
recommended it quite a bit. And I'm
yes.
right there with you that I love me some weird
Yeah,
Cronenberg
yeah,
stuff. But his
yeah.
movies they're not just weird for weird's sake. There's so
No.
much, like, as you mentioned, there's so much to it
Oh
that
yeah,
that will keep you like up at night thinking about it, like, oh yeah,
yeah.
that's kind of what that meant. So that's what that was. So
Right,
I
right.
thought that was really cool. And Cronenberg's son, I think it's Brandon
Brandon
Cronenberg.
Cronenberg. Yeah,
He's got a really cool movie coming out
it
next
looks
year.
really good.
Yeah,
Coming
I
to
like the
Sundance.
yeah, I love the Cronenbergs.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, what was the last one? Possessor, and then
That's
Antiviral.
right. That's what it was. Possessor was the son, Brandon's.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's following it up. Yeah, they have some really cool. They play with some cool ideas, and then they just make it look really interesting. And
yeah.
I don't know.
They're sexy.
No, yeah, no one does it like the Cronenbergs.
They're,
Okay,
they're
number
like
one.
beautifully ratchet. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I kind of had a tie. Well, no, I won't. That's cheating if I do a tie.
Don't do a
My
tie, you coward. I'm kidding.
okay. I'll just throw this out because I'm a superhero guy,
Yeah,
and
you're allowed. Don't apologize. Stop it. Just be
well, no,
yourself.
but this isn't my real pick. I'm just the Batman to me was really great. The
It was really
Batman,
great.
Matt Reeves Batman was so great. I've
Yeah,
watched if there's if this list was movies that we've watched the most over the
yeah.
past year, the Batman would win. I've watched this countless times. I just loved everything about it. But
Nice.
okay, so we'll consider it a tie. The other one on my number one spot is Top Gun Maverick.
I gotta see it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Mike, okay, here's the
I
thing.
don't know what I'm
Isn't
doing.
that
I
it's
say it like
so
every week I'm going to see it, and I never go. It's playing at the Saint Laurent Mall, and I don't go.
how you can stream it now. It's all yeah, you can watch it anywhere you want. But this movie,
Yeah,
and I don't know what it was, and I think it's got a really good chance of being nominated for an Oscar, by the way.
that'd be cool.
But yeah, it would be so cool. But this movie, you knew it was going to bring the nostalgia,
Yeah,
sure, right? It's got the 80s
uh-huh.
nostalgia, bringing it back to modern times.
Yeah,
So they had the soundtrack stuff, but it did so much more. The
that's cool.
everything about it. I can't even think of anything wrong. Like the performances were great. This is probably Tom Cruise at his best playing this type of guy.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's 60 years old. He's still doing all these stunts. The stunts are amazing. It's like,
yeah.
and then the young cast, Miles Teller, what a breakout.
Nice.
If he wasn't A-list, he is now.
Yeah,
And the soundtrack, just everything about it was so great. And I think it's because maybe we just came out of the lockdowns and movie theaters were starting, and some of them we shut down and then you started. So this was like for me the best movie to get me back into the cinema and
nice.
just enjoy the experience with all these people. People were cheering, people were crying tears of joy at the end. I'm telling you, this was probably the ultimate movie experience that I had in the past 10 years.
Wow.
Top Gun Maverick, folks. I'm telling you, it's mainstream, yes, but
It doesn't matter.
it's done so well.
It doesn't matter. If it's good, it's good.
Oh, it's good.
That's all that matters. And
Full
it's
stop.
crazy how beautiful that man is at his age.
Tom,
Stunning.
yeah, Tom Cruise. He's 60. I had to look it up, so I was like, wow, that's
It's
crazy.
alarming.
Yeah,
It's not fair.
but he's really great at this
Yeah.
character, and you could tell that everyone involved was just there was so much passion in it, and I
And he
knew
really nails it with the practical effects. He still does all these crazy stunts.
it's insane.
It's
It's
nuts.
insane. It's
It's nuts.
crazy.
And he thinks about like these stunts like years in advance.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll be in like a Mission Impossible or a Top Gun or something. But the guy is incredible. he's a machine.
Yeah, no, this movie, Top Gun Maverick, deserves to be seen. It's cinema done so well.
I love Tom Cruise. So my number one film is actually coming from Asia. It's called Broker, and it's not very freaky, but it's very
Yeah,
beautiful.
No Broker. Yeah,
Yeah,
so great.
very. I was I got to rock the red carpet of that movie, and
Oh,
I've
no way.
today's the 29th. I've been dropping clips with the director of Hirokazu Korida,
No way.
and
Awesome.
yeah, and Son Kang Ho from Parasite fame and like Bong
Yeah.
Joon-ho fame. So it was really cool. That it's talking about handsome. You know, it's a very handsome man too. And Broker it's like a string of movies by Hirokazu Korida that really question what the family unit is. In his film Shoplifters, it was like, you know, a couple and runaway kids with live with a grandma, and that is like a family unit. And like father like son, a rich man, you find out he collected the wrong baby at the hospital, and he tries to buy his biological son off a poor family who are perfectly happy together, and it makes you question again what the family unit is. And this film, it's about Son Kang Ho and his like, you know, kind of outlaw buddies. They let people drop off babies at their business, and then they sell them on the black market. And then a
Yeah.
mother sort of gets sour grapes about it, and she sort of becomes part of the team. So again, it's a very strange family unit, but a family unit it is
Yeah.
nonetheless. And I yeah, I was really moved by it, and it really made like I God, I guess like I made me realize, and as someone who doesn't have kids, it made me realize that babies are really our most beautiful thing on this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I definitely recommend that movie 100%. It's so great.
it's very
So great.
touching. Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally put that as an honorable mention. I don't really have too many. Tar. Did you watch this?
I gotta see it. I hear it's great.
Oh, it's great. Kate Blanchett's it's amazing. Trying to think of other ones. Like I said, I'm big into horror, so
Yeah,
Bodies was
yeah.
fun.
That played in
Pete,
Fantasia. That was their closing film.
yeah, Pete Davidson. It's very funny and original. Like
Oh
there's
yeah,
sort of things that you haven't seen. And I did also like the Scream.
oh yeah.
I
Scream 4.
think it's five. I think there
All
was we
right.
were. It was just called
Okay.
Scream though, but I think it was five. I thought they did a
Okay.
good job with it. Not so much the latest Halloween.
Oh, you didn't like it? I thought it was better than the second one.
I
Oh, that means I liked it.
It is so divisive.
It is divisive.
There's good things about it, but yeah.
Fair enough.
What's your on? Do you
I
have
have
honorable
some
mentions?
honorable mentions.
Okay, go.
My number six, I'll do number 6 to 10. So number 6 is The
Oh
Fablemans.
wow.
Very
Yeah.
close. Something in the Dirt by
Oh
Justin
yes.
Benson and Aaron Moorhead. They just finished doing Moon Knight for, you know, Disney Plus, and they're
Hmm.
going to be doing season 2 of Loki. But they are known for doing these sort of, you know, psychedelic conceptual sci-fi horror movies, and so that's what you have with this one. Really good movie. It stars both of them. It's basically a two-man show. It's really good. All Quiet on the Western Front, which I believe is
Yeah,
nominated for a Golden Globe. And I
it is.
also
Yeah.
did the red carpet of that film. I
Awesome.
thoroughly enjoyed that film. Quite brutal, but it's, you know, of just, you know, do this if you're feeling like in a broody mood. Do this with a double bill with Downfall from Germany.
Oh yeah.
That'd be fun.
But I
So,
love the soundtrack.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
I
score
interviewed
of
the composer. He's a nice guy.
Oh, Quiet in the Western Front. I thought the score was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And then The Harbinger is in my number 9. I saw that at Fantasia Fest. A very scary ghost story where this ghost known as the Harbinger not only consumes your soul but erases your history, so no one will ever remember you.
Yeah.
You will just be a void in their mind. That's terrifying. That's terrifying.
Yes.
And then Lux Eternia by Gaspar Noé, a very strange movie. 1 hour film. Yeah.
Nice. Did you I followed a little bit of your TIFF journey.
Yeah.
I was living vicariously through other people because I couldn't go this year, but
Fair.
did you get a chance to see Nicolas Cage?
I was at the red carpet. I interviewed him.
Oh my God, because Unbearable, I love me some Nick Cage.
Yeah.
It's so great.
This is my second time meeting him. I
No
actually
way.
feel like I have a rapport now.
That is so cool. That's so
He's
cool.
very
Yeah,
pensive and intense, so I can handle him.
he is an intense guy, but I love
Yes, he is.
I
Some
love
journalists
watching.
don't like it at all.
Well, I love watching him on screen because
Yeah,
it's like Tom Cruise or like I don't know, like a Meryl Streep.
absolutely.
You just get sucked into them. You can't help but keep
He's a
your eyes
great
off.
madman of cinema.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Undeniable.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent was fun. It was a true ode to
Yeah, it was
Nick
fun.
Cage
It was fun.
movies. I
Absolutely.
have some worse movies. Do you
Sure.
have any?
I don't know. I don't know if I want to go down that route.
Okay, well,
But
here's
I will
my.
let you.
Okay, well, maybe okay. Worse, maybe not the right word, but
You didn't
disappointing.
like it. It's okay.
They're disappointing.
Yeah.
Amsterdam, it
Mm.
disappointed me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was, and I had high hopes. I mean, it had such a
Uh-huh.
great cast.
That's a great cast.
Man, I just nothing about it. I remember sitting in the theater just being like, okay, maybe they'll get me now. Okay, okay, and
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
went
yeah.
on and on. Yeah, didn't dig Amsterdam, and I thought, they were kind of hyping up Taylor Swift's little cameos, and this was supposed to springboard her acting career.
Ah,
Not happening. Netflix
ah,
had a comedy called The Bubble.
pardon?
Netflix had a comedy. It was
Okay, yeah,
called
the bubble, yeah.
The Bubble. Yeah, it's not good. Uh,
Okay, I'll avoid it. I avoided
another
Clifford last year.
another movie. The Bubble had such a great cast, and the director was the same director who did Bridesmaids. What's his name?
Oh,
Forget the name.
let's look it up. Talk
Because
for a bit. I'll figure it out.
I love Bridesmaids. I think that's probably the funniest movie I've seen. I don't think anything's been funnier since
Uh,
Bridesmaids.
so the director, I'm on the IMDb page, is Paul Feig.
There you go. So
Yeah,
he did The Bubble,
nice.
and it was terrible. It was about these actors stuck in a bubble in a hotel, and they thought like, oh, this could be good. The pandemic.
Uh,
No,
no,
not the last
there are
were,
too many pandemic movies. I'll say that.
and they didn't really work. Is there a pandemic movie that that worked?
The Harbinger is good, but
Yeah,
it's a scary ghost story. It just
that's
happens
right.
to be like they wear masks and they
Yeah,
mention
yeah,
COVID, but it's just has nothing to do. It's besides the fact. It's just the time that it's set in.
exactly. Yeah,
But when it's just like on the nail, let's talk about COVID. It's kind of like I kind of watching this to forget about it
I
or be distracted
100%.
by it at least for a
No,
minute.
100%.
Yeah.
The other one that was disappointing to me was the Liam Neeson, and Liam Neeson put out two action movies this year.
Ah.
I think one was called Blacklight, but the one that I hated so much was called Memory.
Oh.
Paint by numbers. You know how it's going to end in the first
Oh.
5 minutes. It's Liam Neeson doing the same thing he's done
Uh,
for the past 10. Like, he's good at it. He's good at it. He's
mhm.
good at being the action guy, but they make the same movie. They just change the title. They just change a
I
few
know.
things, and it's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
And I got to watch it every year. And I think he's got more coming out next year. So please, Liam Neeson, and he's a good actor. He could do other stuff.
He's amazing.
He could do dramatic stuff, but he's sticky. I guess the money is in
Yeah.
these action pieces because people still watch it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people stop watching it so I don't have to see it. And then, like I said, I am a superhero fan, so
Yeah.
Morbius with Jared Leto was highly
Yeah.
disappointing. This
I
is one of
hear
those
horrible things.
delayed.
Not good, bad things.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it was delayed because of the pandemic. It finally came out, and it was not worth the wait at all.
What
It
were some
was.
good other good superheroes movies this year besides the Batman?
Oh well, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever was really
Yeah.
wonderful. That's they had a real tough task because Chadwick Boseman passed away,
Oh.
and it was like, how are they going to do this? Like, how are they going to do the
Mm,
Black Panther movie without? It was a sequel to Black Panther, and
mm.
of course, Chadwick Boseman was Black Panther, but they pulled it off really well. It was a nice tribute to that character, but they moved the story along and they did this great world building, really well done. And then yeah, Marvel rarely misses.
Right.
Doctor Strange had a good kind of fun. Sam Raimi was there. It was
Mm.
kind of like a horror type superhero movie. So yeah, that was good stuff.
Do you like Star Wars? Did you watch those shows?
Oh, on Disney Plus, yeah, I
Yeah.
dabbled a little bit. I didn't watch all of them. I watched the Anakin's one,
Obi-Wan?
the Obi-Wan one. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I watched that one. Um, what
I'm
about
a
you?
big fan of The Mandalorian. I'm looking
Oh,
forward
of
to
course,
season
yeah.
three. Yeah.
That's the one. If I had to choose like a Star Wars property that I love the most, Mandalorian top that
Oh yeah.
list. When's the next Star Wars movie? We don't even have a date yet, do we?
No, no. Because they were gonna do the Patty Jenkins one and then they canceled it.
Yeah,
And so because it sounded kind of it was just sort of like a one-off. It
yeah,
was
yeah,
Rogue Squadron. That's all just like flying around.
yeah.
And that's cool, like Star Wars Top Gun. I'm down. But
Yeah.
maybe it has to fit into like a wider story. instead of like it's been 5 years, here's like a one-off movie.
Yeah.
So I believe they are going to be doing another trilogy after the sequel era.
Okay.
It's probably like Ray, do the Jedi
Yeah, yeah.
Temple thing. But I think there's some interesting leaks from the Ahsoka show that might be showing how they're like sort of like Thanosing up like to
Mm,
that moment, like building to that moment in an interesting way.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I no, I dig some Star Wars, and I'm surprised they don't have like a new one set every year. You know,
They had a rough go with the sequel trilogy.
they did, they
Toxic
did,
fandom.
they did.
Yep.
Okay, I got to mention my worst movie experience that I had. I didn't get to it yet. It's called Firestarter.
Oh,
They
that's too bad.
remade, they remade which, by the way, the original wasn't that
Right, it
amazing.
is too special.
But this one, okay, if you go back early 2000s, you could
Yeah.
go on, you could make your own little fake fire explosions on your computer and like YouTube videos. You would see kids do. That's the type of graphics we got in this movie, and the level of acting was abysmal.
Oh,
Zac Efron, I don't even know, and you don't want to talk bad about child actors
oh
as
no.
a kids,
Yeah.
but whoever they had was nowhere close to like your Drew Barrymore. I don't know what they were
Yeah.
thinking with this movie. It felt rushed. The story was non-existent, and the effects were garbage.
Oh.
They should have just scrapped it, or even just put it on like. This is the type of stuff that would end up like directed DVD discount bin. But instead, they put it in theaters. They got greedy. They tried to make money off of it. Yeah, that's
The
what
jerks.
disappointed. Yeah.
Well, Matt, I want to thank you very much for your time today. It's always fun. All the best to
Hey,
you. Happy holidays.
I look forward to this new tradition.
Yes.